In this episode of CARPe Diem.
As we get ready for the new year, we at CARPe Diem thought to give you a sneak peek at what's coming up on this show in 2019.
CARPe Diem, seizing the day for Canadians as we age.
Welcome. We have host videographer Leah Bolton with us to give us a preview of next season's Zippy Zoomers. Leah, what are we in for?
We have a whole new batch of Zippy Zoomers. We're back in action. It's going to be a good year. So far, I've shot a few of them, so maybe we can see a sneak preview of a few of them, but it's going to be a busy year, Carmen. I can feel their energy already. We've got 3 entertainers so far.
Tell me what you're looking for now in this year.
They don't have to be physically fit, they just need to be active. So if they're active up here, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people who are not retiring, and there are so many out there now. So many people just keep going, going, going. They're not ready to say that's it.
Oh no, this is definitely not it. And why don't we just take a look at one?
And starter Larry Clark sends him on the way in the first of 12 on this Friday night.
You started in this industry when you were 25.
Well, it was interesting how it all evolved. Dad worked for the paper for the Vancouver Sun, covered the races out here at Fraser Downs, and they needed somebody just to do Saturdays originally.
As they wheel by us for the first time, glimpse of goodness, debut on the board, shows the way.
Leah, he's a perfect example of Zoomers still working.
And he loves his job.
Yeah.
He was telling me nobody was getting his hands on that job. There's so many young people gunning for it. I said, no way. No, I'm going to keep going. This is my gig. I created it. So.
And you know, and this is the thing about some of the Zoomers that you showcase, is that they've worked hard for whatever they have now.
Yeah, think about Mary Carter. She had this very distinct candy shop over in Richmond for years and years and years, and she built up her clientele. And then it was only recently where she shut it down, and you would have thought, okay, she's retiring because she's getting older, she's in her 80s, but no, instead she opened up a shop in Langley, and that's not an easy thing to do, no matter what age, to start a new business.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, well, why did you do this? Why didn't you just retire? She said, well, no, they need this here. This is my home. What else would I do?
What other subjects have you covered? I'm excited about 2019.
Well, I was talking about there are quite a few entertainers as well. Singers like Salve, there's dancers like Carol, and there are volunteers, more volunteers. Lynn Katie, she's a volunteer. Mind you, she's a crazy athletic. She's working out all the time with personal trainers.
Speaking of fitness, why don't we take a look at this? It's such a big part of being a Zippy Zoomer.
Good job. 2 more.
It's a good workout.
It's a good workout.
And then I do lots on my own as well as my designated hours.
Making sure your lower back maintains its contact.
One time we'll do upper body, the next time he'll have me doing all sorts of squats and things. Another time we'll do a lot of lifting.
Let's do a plank.
He just changes it around. Yeah, every time is kind of different.
Abs contracted. Okay, what you're going to do is lift one arm up in the air and the opposite leg up.
I'm such a big fan of the CARPe Stand Up Straight campaign. And it was basically take care of your health, eat well, move. And I know that through Zippy Zoomer, we showcase a lot of the success stories.
We do, and for me, the tough part is keeping up. Because as you see in some of them, I need to participate. I'm not quite the same age as most of them, well, actually all of them, but it's just, I can't believe how much energy. I just don't know how they do it.
You mentioned that part of your search for Zippy Zoomers comes from the Zoomer Show, and she was one of these lucky girls.
That's right, yeah. At the previous Zoomer Show, I put together a promo. I thought, wow, it'd be a great opportunity here at the show to put a little promo together and entice people to say, hey, I know someone, or my grandma, or my best friend. and to drop their names in.
These ladies have life experience, and now is the time to use it all. And I just want to give a shout out to the hot mamas, because they still perform every weekend at the Sylvia. I mean, they're very popular.
Yeah, they're coming up too. They were amazing. There were 3 of them, all in a different decade, all zippy Zoomers though. So I think one was in her 50s, one was in her 60s, and one was in her 70s, and they were...
And if you had one in their 40s, it would be the perfect example of the arc of a zippy Zoomer.
That's right.
So
I told them I could join soon. Yes.
Thank you so much, Leah, for sharing your camera with our viewers. We really appreciate your contribution to CARPe Diem. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have Dean Atwell talk about his work on this show.
Up next on CARPe Diem.
Now, it may sound morbid, but planning my funeral has been a positive experience. It has been emotional, but overall, I'd say I'd recommend it.
CARPe Diem. Seizing the day for Canadians as we age.
Welcome back. Host videographer Dean Atwell is with us now to share some of his upcoming stories. And I want to ask you, how do you feel about aging, Dean?
Working on this show has certainly changed my perspective on aging, and certainly as a journalist it changes. You have to be careful with your verbiage. So what I found is that, you know, saying elderly or even using the word, still getting on with age, or anti-aging, there's a lot of marketing out there. That's a no. You can't say anti-aging. It implies that aging is a bad thing. It's negative. So it's changed my behaviors in the way that I maybe speak or display how we look at growing older and maturer in my stories.
You've done some amazing work with us, and some of it was very delicate. And I want to show you this clip.
We're here in South Surrey at Victory Memorial Park learning about funeral arrangements. Now, most people find it hard to talk about, but there is a growing trend when it comes to funeral planning and death.
We do have the in-ground options. We have the columbariums and the niche walls as well. We even have little private, almost estates for families to be in their own little individual house or apartment, if you will. Here we have a beautiful grand room, which we host most of our events in. We have a reception room downstairs as well. And we do have a family room and visitation down the side hall also. As you can see, we are an on-site cemetery with a crematorium as well. So when your loved one comes into our care here, they stay here until their final resting place.
Thank you for calling Victory Memorial Park.
So what does this allow you to do, Teresa?
This actually allows us to present all the options to you, and then you can just let us know what works for you and what doesn't, and that's how we'll build what sort of celebration would be best for you.
When I'm talking about my funeral, I'm thinking a celebration of life. So what are the kind of things that I'd be looking at?
We would definitely try to personalize it in the sense of food, music, keepsakes, takeaways for people to take home, what your hobbies and interests were.
Keepsakes? Sorry, I'm going to stop you right there.
Yes.
So, like at a wedding when you have keepsakes on the table.
Absolutely.
That's interesting. I've never considered that.
Yeah.
So like what? What would that be?
I can show you. We have some families that choose to do little keepsake personalized wine bottles, golf ball insignias on them, flowers to take home and plant in memory of their loved one. Anything like that, just little things where they're going to walk in and say, oh my gosh, I remember that Dean loved this.
Mine would probably be a beer mug.
There you go.
Now, it may sound morbid, but planning my funeral has been a positive experience. It has been emotional, but overall, I'd say I'd recommend it.
You really captured the mood of that process, and you showed us that it doesn't have to be sad or depressing, and I really look forward to that episode, which we call Prepping for Death.
And what we learned is that it's a state of mind, and honestly, it's been a pleasure covering some of these stories, and I'm blessed to have done them, but it really shows you that it's how you think about growing older. I don't even want to use the word growing older, because what is it? Do we just age, or do we mature? Got to be careful about the words we use.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to.
Grow up? No.
No.
Just age. Just age. It's all good.
And in our whole Zoomer philosophy, Zoomer media is all about showing happy life.
Absolutely, and it's about creating a community, and it's taking away that social isolation that typically exists within an aging demographic.
Dean, thank you so much for participating on CARPe Diem. It's always a pleasure, and I hope we see more of you.
Absolutely.
We're taking a short break. When we come back, we're talking about the Zoomer shows.
Still ahead on CARPe Diem.
If they're Scottish country dancers, are you going to dance away with them?
CARPE Diem. Seizing the day for Canadians as we age.
Welcome back. We have a special guest with us. Johan is here from Toronto, where his team works on the popular Zoomer shows. Welcome to Vancouver.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any excuse to get out to Vancouver is a good one. And so we're just in pre-planning phase for our April Zoomer show coming up April 13th and 14th in 2019.
What's the history of the Zoomer show?
Yeah, so the Zoomer show is about 11 years old now. We'll be going to our 12th year. Vancouver's been happening for the last 5 years. And, you know, the idea was really around creating a show that's geared towards men and women 45 plus with a focus on positive and healthy aging. And that was something that was missing in the market. So you had, you know, the home show and your auto show and your garden show, but there wasn't something that was all-encompassing for that demographic. And so that's really what spurred on the Zoomer show. And, you know, with tens of thousands of people in attendance, it's just kind of grown and evolved over the years. And you could see for yourself as a host as well how it's grown.
It sure gets busier every year. Why don't we show you a clip of what happens on the floor?
The attendance is fantastic. Lineup was huge this morning. Our numbers are increasing steadily every year.
This is our 8th year here. There's a dance zone, there's over 120 exhibitors, travel, finance, everything you can imagine under one roof.
Folds up, airline approved, goes on cruise ships, and it weighs 27 pounds.
How fast does it go? The real question.
Really, really fast. I lost all my hair doing this, buddy, doing this, so.
We do a teeth whitening right here at the show. They enable us to do that, and it's just great. Love it.
Oh, you know what? I like that. Awesome. It's a big range of people, that's for sure. We've got some baby boomers here and big range.
Nanovibration technology. It works at the subatomic level. So at the nano level, it's working with the cells and the frequencies. So it gets the blood circulating better, helps with pain and inflammation. It's helped many people.
And then what I do is I just use a little bit of syrup.
I think it's great. Keep spending money.
I bought a rose quartz pendant as well as, oh, I see this one. I want to learn more about health. I like all the different services that are going to be offered. I want to know what's in store for me as I age.
I see a lot of shopping bags.
Absolutely. It's equal parts sort of retail and shopping, equal parts education, and then, of course, all-day entertainment over the course of the 2 days.
You